What is up, everyone? I'm Sharp Cheddar. Today, we're going to be talking about fight management. So when it comes down to disengaging, taking high ground, managing your cooldowns on both your runes and your sorceries, managing your mana consumption, all those things when it comes down to really winning the true 1v1 end circle, everything on the line. Right now, we're talking about that in this video right now. So today, I'm going to be analyzing one of my old videos of an old fight with a friend named Tacos. He's a great streamer. Check him out in the link above. I tabbed to his channel. He's an awesome guy. He makes great montages. Definitely check him out. Give him a follow on YouTube. Give him a follow on Twitch. Let's get into it. All right, so right off the bat, we're in final circle, 1v1, end game. You can see the person I'm playing. You can see Tacos right over here on the map. I already have the high ground. He is in this position over here, and in Spellbreak, it is super important to keep high ground. So I already have it on this mountain. So I don't want to push him and give up my high ground. I want to have him push me. So I'm going to stay here and just hang out for a little while, letting him come to me, okay? So I've lost vision on him here. That's fine. I know where he is. I still have the high ground. For him to attack me, he needs to come up. So he's a Tempest player. So am I in this situation. I have a Tox offhand. The Tempest Tox, I know that I need to get right up in his face to do any damage. So I'm letting him come to me, use his mana, use his cooldowns, use his sorceries to come up to me to fight on my terms. At that point, when he pushes me, I still have all my abilities left, and he's lacking a few. I've got a blue dash, purple tox, and legendary wind. So decent movement. I've got runic fluency, so I'm going to be able to use my dashes twice on a cooldown. Shorter cooldown, using more frequently. So my movement here is very high. So we're going to let this play out. All right, let's go over that slowly. So he pushes me. He uses his NATO. He uses his sorcery to take high ground, so he pushes me here. I want to keep my high ground, so I levitate a little bit above him, keep him in line with me, and I realize that he's lining up for a shot, so I take a Tox Slap, try to get it off, I miss, but I dash out of the way, so I dodge whatever he throws at me. So I lose track of him here, take a Fireball because of it. So I lose vision on him, and because he tracked my dash, and I didn't track him, I get a Fireball in the back of the head, he gains some damage, but because I have Runic Fluency, I dash back out, retain my high ground. So if you notice, at this point, once again, I have the high ground, and he doesn't. He's stuck down here in the bottom, where I still have the high ground advantage, right? So I throw my NATO on top of him, throw a Tox at him, get a few tick damages off of my Toxic with Corrosion. I see where he is. However, I'm now lacking health that he's not. After I regain my high ground, I'm now lacking 50 health. So while I have the high ground, I want to fully disengage out of this fight because both my dashes are on cooldown, my sorcery is on cooldown. I don't want to take this fight at this point. I know I have plenty of heals. I get my full shard off, disengage here. If you listen here, that's him wind jumping up, taking the high ground again. So even though I'm fully healed, he's now in the advantageous spot to fight. So I want to take that spot back. I wind jump up into the air, try to get Tox Slap off on him. I missed. That's okay. Get some damage. This is what happens here. I throw my Tox Cloud on top of the hill, knowing that he wants to be there. So what I'm doing here is that in wind jumping up, getting a Tox Slap off, throwing my Tox Cloud, dashing back into the high ground, I force him off the high position, take high ground myself, and I'm able to be in a better spot to fight. Unfortunately, I forget he has fire. So I get a little too close to my Tox Cloud, he hits it with fire, and I take 20 damage because of it. However, because I did this close after I finished healing, if you look, I'm still gaining health for another 5 seconds from my large shard. So even though I take 20 health from this, in the end, I only lose 10. So I'm in a good position. I disengage a little bit, try to reset. I want to find him again, and then take this fight for real. So I take high ground again. Now, however, he takes the high ground with Tornado. I'm in a bad spot. He has the high ground. He's not on my screen. I want to take high ground back. So as a Tempest, I throw my NATO down on the ground, regain high ground, and now I'm above him. So he had just blown up my NATO with fire. Knowing this, and knowing that I'm away from my NATO and he's pretty close to it, I Tox Slap my own fire NATO. What that does, that creates a DF NATO, and I get 21 damage off on him. He also lands a fireball, so at this point in time, I have the high ground, and we're about even in health. However, I have a dash left over still. He just used his, and I know he's not running Runic Fluency. I know I have the dash advantage right now. So I have the high ground, I push a Tox Slap, and dash immediately away. So now, look at our health bar. I've got 100 with 25 HP, or 25 shield. He's got 100 with no shield whatsoever. And I have a severe high ground advantage. Hitting shots straight up are very, very hard with a fire gauntlet. It's doable, but it's tough. Hitting shots straight down with Tox, very easy. So what I do is drop down to him, Tox Slap in the face. At this point in time, he's now at about 60, 65 health. I'm at 100 with still a little bit of shield left. So I have a very strong health advantage right now. He has the high ground a little bit, but I'm okay with this because I have a lot more health than he does. So my goal here is to finish the fight. I still have a Tox Cloud left over because I haven't used it in a while. So I get one more slap for 26. He hits a fireball. I'm not 74. But if you look, let me go back. If you look, after the Tox Slap, I'm at 74. He's at maybe 30 health after that Tox Slap for 26. So I have a very strong health advantage here. And being on top of him, I know that his fireballs will eat my Tox Slaps because fire will block out Tox Slaps. So what I want to do is I want to end this fight now. So I throw a Tox Cloud on the ground, knowing he's going to try to blow me up with fire. And instead, I absorb the damage. I throw the Tox Cloud on both of us, knowing that I can't get it far enough away from me to hit just him. I throw it straight down. He blows it up. I can take the damage because I have 75 health at this point in time. Right before I throw it, I have 74 health. And I know he's around 30. So I throw the Tox Cloud down. He blows it up like I expected. We both take 2 ticks of Dragonfire, which is 40 damage total. Me knowing he didn't have more than 30 or 35. I still have 31 health left, and I bring home the victory.
Right, Tacos. That was a clean one.
So, here's what happened. Quick summary. I want to keep high ground as much as possible. In doing so, it makes your shots very, very easy. It makes their shots very, very difficult. Secondly, if I realize that they're in a better position health-wise and position-wise, I can just disengage, pull off of the fight, let them search for me, make them come to me for health. While I'm healing, they're looking for me, and I'm okay with that. Manage your cooldowns wisely. Throughout that fight, I only used my dash when I had to. If I knew he was behind me, if I knew he had line of sight advantage on me, that's when I used it. Otherwise, I tried to save it so I didn't. So I always had an escape if I needed to. In the very end, when I didn't have an escape, I was okay with it because I'd put myself in that position going up to that point where I had more health than he did with a Tox Cloud for damage. So in doing so, even though he had high ground, even though he had a dash, even though he had the better position, everything else, I was in a much better health position than he was. So I was able to throw the Toxic Cloud down on top of both of us. He blew it up, and we both took 40 damage, killing him, letting me live, and bring home the victory. So that'll be it for the day. If you guys liked what you saw and you learned something from it, hit that subscribe button down below. I really appreciate it. I'll be posting more videos like this in the future with guides about movement, guides about cooldown management, guides about all sorts of stuff about Spellbreak. Feel free to hang out in my Twitch channel as well. I'll put a link in the description down below. And I'll see you guys next time. Peace out.